The Sport Puck Network welcomes you to this presentation of the UWFFL. The UWFFL is finally back. After a 6-year hiatus, it is time for the 2015 Champions League to finally get underway. Originally there were 6 teams that were going to be competing for the inaugural Champions League Cup, but at the last minute the league decided to add 2 more teams to the mix. The 8 teams competing are the UWFFL Bowl 15 champions, the Anchorage Orcas, who went 16-0 in Premier League in 2014. Out of the La Liga, the World Bowl 2015 champion New York Sharks, representing the AAIFA. AAIFA Bowl 1 champions, the St. Joseph's Couriers. Getting in by way of their 2014 Summer Developmental League Championship is the Metro South Conference's Charleston Navigators. But of the returning champion went to the UWFFL Bowl 14 champion Minnesota Mustangs. They won the UWFFL Bowl a year ago. And the 6th team to automatically qualify was the winners of the 2014-2015 Maple Leaf Cup, the British Columbia Lumberjacks. And then the 2 teams that were added today, the UWFFL Bowl 15 runners-up, the Hartford Whalers, and the 2014 Division II national champions, the Pontiac Prowlers. 4 of these 8 teams will be competing in the UWFFL Premier League when we start the fall 2020 season simulation next week. That would be Minnesota, Hartford, Anchorage, and Pontiac. While Charleston and British Columbia will return to their Division II leagues, and the New York Sharks will return to La Liga to defend their World Bowl title. St. Joseph's, while they'll be headed back to the AAIFA for the 2016 season, but that's going to be going on in some other dimension for now. So the football world will descend on Hard Rock Stadium in Miami, home of the GSL Soul, but for this week it'll be the home of the UWFFL's inaugural Champions League Cup. The draw was reheld after they added 2 teams to make the total 8, and this morning the 8 teams were arranged into 2 groups of 4. In Group A, New York, Pontiac, Anchorage, and St. Joseph. And in Group B was British Columbia, Charleston, Hartford, and Minnesota. Each team will play the other 3 teams in their group in group play, and then the top 2 teams in each group will advance to the semifinals on Saturday. The winner of Group A will face the runner-up of Group B, and vice versa, and the winners on Friday will meet in the Champions League final on Saturday. So after the draw, today's games were set, and play got underway at 9 a.m. this morning. It was New York Sharks taking on Pontiac Prowlers at 9 a.m., and at 12:30 p.m. the British Columbia Lumberjacks faced the Charleston Navigators. At 4:30 it was the Anchorage Orcas taking on the St. Joseph's Couriers, and then the nightcap at 8 p.m. tonight, the Hartford Whalers took on the Minnesota Mustangs. So that's how everything's set, and when we come back, we'll take a look at Day 1's results. You're listening to coverage of the UWFFL Champions League on the Sport Puck Network.
Have you lost your sense of smelling the roses during your time locked away from the single scene? Do you ache for a time where you can find your lifelong love? Well, look no further than OkCovid, the pandemic's #1 dating site. OkCovid's 19-point personality test can help you test positive for the one you love. OkCovid is simple, easy, and not fatiguing to use, so you can get closer to finding the love that you can lock down with for life. Check out the pandemic's #1 dating site, OkCovid. It's infectious.
we are back on this Sport Puck Network special presentation coverage of the 2015 Champions League. It was day one and action got underway early this morning. In the first game, New York defeated Pontiac 31-30. It was an exciting game. The Sharks were up 24-13, and the Prowlers came back and took a 30-28 lead late, but the Sharks kicked a field goal to win it in the final seconds, and so the Sharks go to 1-0. The Prowlers are at 0-1. In the second game, British Columbia and Charleston played a low-scoring game. British Columbia pulled it out 13-6. The third game of the day was not really much of a contest. Anchorage defeated St. Joseph's 35-0. Now, an interesting thing about St. Joseph's, coming out of the AAIFA, they play indoor football, of course, and so they are severely handicapped in this simulation for the purposes of the competition. They really don't have much of a chance. They're going to be at an extreme disadvantage, is all I'm going to say, and with players that are in plays and a system that's really built for the indoor game, and then to go up against the 16-0 Anchorage Orcas, who are the defending UWFFL Bowl champions in the first match. Well, hopefully it'll get a little easier for them in rounds 2 and 3, but if they come out of this group, it's going to be a major upset, let's just say that. And then in the final game, probably the most evenly matched teams, the Hartford Whalers and the Minnesota Mustangs. Hartford wins 17-10 in the nightcap. So to take a look at the standings in Group A, we've got Anchorage and New York at 1-0, Pontiac and St. Joseph's at 0-1, and in Group B, we've got British Columbia and Hartford at 1-0, and Minnesota and Charleston are at 0-1. And if we take a look at tomorrow's games, it's going to be Pontiac against St. Joseph's, Charleston against Minnesota, British Columbia against Hartford, and New York taking on Anchorage. So that New York-Anchorage game is probably going to be a big one. That's the nightcap for tomorrow night. And then if you want to look ahead to Thursday, the 4 games which will close out group play, Minnesota will play British Columbia, St. Joseph's will play New York, Charleston will play Hartford, and Pontiac will play Anchorage. So if Anchorage wins the first 2, they may be coasting into that final game. Pontiac may need that for a win. It looks like Anchorage is definitely the best team in Group A. We got Pontiac and New York fighting for that other spot in the semifinals, maybe. I mean, who knows? We'll just see how it plays out. And then in Group B, you've got 4 good teams. I think probably Minnesota and Hartford, being the Premier League teams, are a little stronger. British Columbia and Charleston, though, are at the top of their game in Division 2, and so you never know. Any of the 4 teams, I think, can get in out of Group B. And in Group A, I think New York, Anchorage, and Pontiac, it would be a huge upset if Anchorage doesn't get into the semifinals. And I think New York and Pontiac will be fighting for that second spot. So it's going to be an exciting Champions League. Check back tomorrow with day 2 of group action. And for now, we're going to leave you one more time with the final scores. It was New York 31, Pontiac 30. British Columbia 13, Charleston 6, Anchorage 35, St. Joseph's 0, and Hartford 17, Minnesota 10. That's it from here with your UWFFL update. Have a good night. We'll see you tomorrow.